Da, da, theme song. Da, da, da.
I'm Tanya,
I'm Nikki.
and we are 1,000 Eyes in One, the podcast. And we are back on our bullshit.
Oh my God, I cannot wait to be bullshitty with you.
For previous episodes, find us at thousandeyespodcast.com. On YouTube, you can find us at 1,000 Eyes in One Podcast. If you'd like to follow us on social media, we are 1,000 Eyes in One on Instagram and Facebook, 1,000 Eyes Pod on Blue Sky, and if you're interested in our speculative fiction book club, follow Wine on an Empty Stomach on Instagram.
So the Hedge Knight is something that we've been trying to cover for like 3 years. I went through my audio files when I was looking for something and I was like, oh yeah, we tried this for the imaginary Patreon that we were going to launch theoretically. But now we're here because there's nothing like a deadline.
There's nothing like a deadline to get you off your ass and get you to work. So we're only a few days away from A Knight of the Seven Kingdoms,
Oh
which
my
of course,
God.
if you know, is based off of the Hedge Knight. And we're going to talk about the Hedge Knight today. So if you
Yeah.
haven't read it and you don't want spoilers for A Knight of the Seven Kingdoms, this is where you leave.
Yeah, this is where you leave because we're basically talking about season 1 from top to bottom.
Yeah.
And all we can say is go read it. It's a quick read. If you're not really into like reading the text, the audiobook is really well narrated. And if you want like a different experience, get the graphic novel because the graphic novel is really cool too. And you can get it on different formats. Like I've used panels, I've used it on my iPad. You can do it on Kindle, but like Kindle's not really graphic novel friendly. Maybe I should work on that. But yeah, I'm excited.
I'm really excited too. So we went to Comic-Con and we got to see the trailer early, which was exciting, and see some of the cast.
Oh my God. The joust.
The joust. It looks so good. So I have really high hopes that they're going to do a good job. I read that they followed the source material really closely.
Thank God.
Yeah,
it's amazing when somebody reads the book.
I really hope it's true.
Let's get disappointments out of the way. Each episode is only going to be 30 minutes.
Boo.
Boo. And there's only 6 of them?
I think so, yeah.
There are only 6 of them. And it comes on at 10 o'clock Eastern time.
Yeah. Auntie needs to sleep. Why is it coming on so late?
Like, hello. How do you think we pay for HBO?
Some of us are middle-aged and we need our sleep.
You know, like, oh, it's like asking me to come out to something after 8 o'clock.
Yeah, like, no, it's not happening, but it is going to happen. So backed me into a corner, HBO.
Here we go again.
So the Hedge Knight. Having reread it again after reading it a million times, and I accidentally started rereading it today.
I was listening to it before we started.
I have it open on my laptop. I think that having reread all 3 recently, I think the Hedge Knight is my favorite.
Yeah?
I think so.
We're probably going to say this a couple times. I really enjoyed it. The first time I hadn't read it, I listened to an audiobook years and years ago, and the recording was okay. It's actually, I went into my YouTube playlist and all of them are gone now because
of course.
Every time I read the story, it's like reading it for the first time. I have anxiety at the same places. It's like I completely forgot what's going to happen. And when we get to those points, it's like, oh shit. No. Or how does he do it?
The first time I read it was in a compilation. I forgot which one. I should have looked it up before we started, but it was in a compilation that George R.R. Martin had edited. After I finished the main 5, I had heard about this Dunk and Egg series. And so I was like, what's that? And so I'm like Googling Dunk and Egg, thinking that's what it's called. And I couldn't find it anywhere. Eventually, I found out that that is not what it's called.
I was Googling Dunk and Egg.
I ended up finding it in a compilation of short stories, fantasy short stories, which was really good too. So if I ever remember what it's called, I'll tell you.
I gotta say, he's really edited a lot of short, like really great short story collections. I
Yeah.
think what's the one I'm reading now? It's something about murder and star-crossed lovers.
Oh.
Yeah, very good.
Well, in any case, I finally found it and I loved it right away and immediately started searching for the second and third ones, which
Hmm.
were also in compilations before it all got put together as A Knight of the Seven Kingdoms.
Right.
So that was like years and years ago. So I started rereading it again because Nikki and I were going to talk about it. And then we didn't. And then so much time had
You
gone
decided to
by.
have children.
Yeah. What was I thinking? And then I reread it again and again and again and again. And now here we are. The show's finally coming.
Hmm.
And
It got greenlit for a second season.
yes, I saw that. It's really exciting. So we start with the burial of Sir Arlen, who I think we'll get flashbacks with him in the show. I think I read that somewhere.
So, for anyone who's just going to go into the show blind, you just need to know you're not going to know any of the characters in this. This is 100 something years before Game of Thrones comes out. It's several hundred years after the House of the Dragon. I guess like a couple hundred years after House of the Dragon. So, if you're looking to recognize anybody in there, you're not, except for like a spoiler, which we're not going to get into now, I guess. Go in it with an open mind. You don't know these fucking people.
Again, we're going to be talking spoilers, so if you didn't leave already, now is a really great time. Bye. We'll talk to you soon.
See ya. Join us for 30 Tuesday.
So yeah, Sir Arlen, I saw that we'll get to see some things about him. It said that there are flashbacks to
Hmm.
him. So we'll get more Sir Arlen than we did in the books.
That's exciting.
Yeah, we'll get to know him a little bit.
Yeah, because throughout the book, you only really get to know him as to the stories he shared with Dunk
Yeah.
and just kind of the way that Dunk carries himself.
Yeah.
Like he was a real knight and very honorable.
Right. And Dunk wants to make sure he embodies that, be a true knight.
Mm-hmm.
He's very much like his potential descendant, Brienne of Tarth,
Yeah.
who also is a true knight. We haven't gotten confirmation that that's really his descendant, but there are hints and clues and chatter about it. So
Hmm.
I keep that in mind to see if we'll maybe get some Easter eggs about Tarth,
That would be so cool.
right?
That would be so cool. Just so you guys know, like we're smiling like so big. You could probably hear it in our voices, but oh my gosh, the story is so cool. And I think that for people, maybe even just coming into the world of A Song of Ice and Fire for the first time, it's going to be relatable in a way. You get to hang out with the common people, you
Yeah.
know? You get to see things from the perspective of a knight who's like just starting off and trying to embody all these things. He's not like, oh, a legendary knight like Sir Barristan Selmy or Jaime Lannister, who you know all these stories about. This is the beginning of his journey. And I hate that. I hate when people say journey these days. It's like so overused, but yeah.
When we were at Comic-Con,
Hmm.
George R. R. Martin kind of accidentally spoiled a little bit the surprise that Egg is Aegon.
Yeah.
He like accidentally said something. He was like talking about how we're not going to get the perspective of any royals or nobles. And he was like, well, other
Right.
than Egg. And I was like, wait, what? Don't say that. That's supposed to be a surprise later.
Yeah.
That's part
Yeah.
of the fun.
But, everybody who was at the panel, like they
Had
should
read it,
know because
right?
that's why they're there, right?
That's
Yeah.
true. That's true. I didn't look up the casting beyond Dunk and Egg.
Me neither.
Okay.
But can we talk about Baylor and how I hope he's hot?
Yeah, I mean, he's supposed to have like a broken nose and common
Oh,
brown
well,
hair, so I don't know if he was supposed to be hot.
whatever. He's seasoned, he's been in
Yeah.
battle. I want him to be hot, but the same level of hot as I imagine Dalinar Colin.
Yeah.
Uh, yeah.
I wonder if they're gonna give Baylor silver hair because in
Mm,
House of the Dragon, they gave Rhaenys, the silver white hair, but she's a Baratheon. Her hair was supposed to be black, with like a streak of silver. The seed is strong. But for the show, they made her silver haired because she's a Targaryen. So I wonder
Yeah.
if Baelor will also have silver hair despite having a Dornish mother.
Yeah. I give him like do salt and pepper, you know? Give him a
Mm,
little bit of everything. What color is his eyes? Are his eyes brown?
I don't remember.
Huh.
But
Yeah.
also Makar's son that's in the inn with Egg, the one who has the dreams, he's supposed
Mm-hmm.
to have brown hair too. So
Yeah.
I wonder if they'll give him brown hair because if they don't, then when Dunk sees him, he should recognize right away that he's a
Exactly.
Targaryen.
Exactly. Because, that's how we distinguish them. And I think it's going to be a lot more fun if they stick to the book and we have that reveal later because he could just be, you know, a lush
Yeah, like I
covered in
wonder if they'll
wine.
have him like hooded or something if they decide to make his hair silver instead of keeping it brown.
Mm. We'll see on Sunday. The
Do you have a favorite part of the story?
end is kind of my favorite
Hmm.
because every time it happens, I'm just like, oh my God, that's so terrible. I have a lot of favorite parts. I was going to say one of the things I really enjoy is when Daron is walking with Dunk after they realize it's going to be like a trial of seven.
Oh, Daron, when he's like, I'll just fall down.
Yeah, he's like, I'll fall down, but he walks away. He's like, listen, I had a dream about you, because we
Right,
say that in the beginning. He's like, you were there, and there was a great black dragon, and the dragon was dead, but you were alive. And I don't know what that means, but stay the fuck away from me.
right. He had said, I think the dragon landed was like on him, and but the
Mm-hmm.
dragon was dead and he was alive.
Yeah. Daron
Daron
the
the
Drunk.
drunk.
I think one of my other favorite things about this book is that there's so much foreshadowing that happens. You
Mm.
don't realize until you get to the end or on your reread that, oh shit, he's been dropping these little seeds in there like George always does,
Yeah,
when he's talking about the brood of Bracken and how he slayed Lord Blackwood, smashed the shit out of his face,
yeah.
And I'm like, oh wait,
And
now
even
I
talking
know
about
this.
Makar's mace. They talk about Makar's mace a
Mm-hmm.
few times, and obviously we
Exactly.
find out later that he likely dealt the blow that killed Baelor.
Yeah.
I have a few favorite moments. They're kind of like the moments that made me swell with pride and also cry. The first one is when the Fossaway nephew decides that he's like, knight me. Like, I got you. My cousin's a piece of shit. Just knight me. And then that's how we
Mm-hmm.
get the beginning of the Green Apple
Apple
Fossaways, because that's
Fossaways.
where the family splits. Or if you remember in the main five, we have Green Apple Fossaways and Red Apple Fossaways. So now we see how we
Mm-hmm.
got those two families, why they split.
Right
I
there.
felt proud. I don't know why. It had nothing to do with it. I wasn't there, but I felt
Well,
so
because you
proud.
see you see like the jerk happening in progress. You think that Stefan is going to help Dunk because Dunk is in a kind of a pickle, and he says he's going to get help. He says that, he's a knight. He's supposed, and Dunk is really naive because he thinks that all knights are honorable and all knights uphold their vows. And when Raymond is just like, you know what? My cousin's a dick. He's been fucking with me this whole time. He's been trying to bait you into a fight early to like wound you before the joust, and all these things are happening. He keeps saying, I'm not ripe. You know what? I'm not. Here's a green apple. Better green than more me.
Yes.
I love that so much.
Yes. So that's one of my favorite parts. A thing that I love in general is Dunk's optimism and how much he believes in the
Mm-hmm.
values of knighthood. And it makes me think of Brienne, like I said, but also
Yeah.
Sansa.
Sansa. Yeah. And Podrick.
In a way, also the Hound, because he refused to
Yeah.
become a knight.
Yeah. Right. He's like, oh, no, no, no.
He's
I'm
like,
going to
no,
break
they don't
these
follow
vows.
rules. I'm not doing this.
Why would I do that? Like, I'm going to join a crew of hypocrites. I'm just going to
Exactly.
do what I want.
So of course we know that the tourney is actually ends up being a trial of the seven
Mm-hmm.
because Dunk beat up the Targaryen boy because he broke Tencel's fingers. So of course we're gonna see that.
My heart just like, I just cringed. I could hear the snaps.
Oh yeah. The moment when Dunk is getting ready to go and the small folk start like,
Mm,
praying and giving him things and Pate gives him the armor and he's like, "Oh, for a penny," and all those
yeah.
things. oh my God, I fall apart. Because he's like, why is
I
everybody
got
supporting
chills.
me? And they're like, because you're a true knight.
We haven't seen one of those. We just see these rich people coming in and out, taking up all this space, then leaving. And attorney is great for the economy. And it's really cool to see all these people that you hear come through, but they're not checking for you. Even the way that Dunk initially treats Egg when he first meets him, and
Hmm.
he's rude. He's like, "Oh, you're a little who knows whatever. I'm a knight. You're going to follow my lead, and you need to honor me and respect me and do all this stuff." And that's what everybody else is kind of doing, except they
Hmm.
have money. And you know what? That's my favorite part too, is where Dunk is like, "Do you know all the knights in the Seven Kingdoms?" And Egg is like, "All the good ones."
Right.
Right. So you get this like little kid, you're like, who's this wafy little shit who's like hanging out in the barn? And why are you on my horse? And you are so insolent. I can't with you.
Dunca's always threatening to clout him in the air, but he never does it.
He never does it. Like, where did this come from? It gave me trauma. Intergeneral going to clout you on the air. Like, I've never been boxed on. Actually, no, I was gonna say I've never been boxed on the air, but I think I have.
I have
And
not. I
not
just picture
fun.
like a bunch of kids with cauliflower ear.
So gross. You get to see just the respect that the small folk have for him because he
Hmm.
stood up. He just reacted. He saw that something was wrong and he went to fix it. He went to protect the innocent because that's one of the vows, right? And the fact that he was brave enough to do it,
And remember, Egg came and got him.
yeah. Mm,
Egg came to get him because Egg believed in him as a true knight.
yeah.
And of
And
course,
that's
that's when
great.
he
Just
finds
like
out that Egg is Egg.
Egg is Egg, and that's his brother. And I've just like sealed my fate. Like,
Yeah.
what are they supposed to do? I'm thinking about like, I can't wait to see the scene play out. What happens is that Arion sees the puppet show, and in the puppet show, Tenzel Too Tall kills a dragon, and oh my god, high fucking treason! And because he thinks that he's a dragon reborn, Arion Bright Flame, he takes super duper offense to it. He's like, "Yo, what are you trying to do? This is like an assassination attempt. Like, there's just all the political reasons that this should not be happening." And you look at this woman, you know that she's from Dorne, and like, you know, they don't have great history. So if I was super self-centered and just like the thing that comes to mind is like Joffrey when Tywin's like, don't unsheath your sword unless you plan to use it, you know,
Hmm.
like that's kind of the vibe that he gives. And this is happening. She kills the dragon. He's so offended and he breaks her fingers. And now imagine that you're just there trying to watch the puppet show and this obvious prince of the realm is there. What are you supposed to do?
Right.
He's got security with him. You don't jump in, like they could kill you. We didn't talk about why he's Sir Duncan the Tall, but this is a big dude. You know, they say in the beginning he's closer to 7 feet than he is to six.
Right.
So he's solid.
Do you know what I wonder about? I wonder how are they gonna address that Dunk isn't really a knight? Because like we all know. That's
Yeah.
why he doesn't knight Raymond Foxway because he knows he's not
Mhm.
really a knight. Like they never outright say it in the book, but all of the clues are there that
All the
Sir
clues are there.
Arlen didn't get to knight him and he's kind of pretending to be a knight and he feels bad
Mhm.
about it,
Yeah.
but he's just kind of stuck. And so when Raymond asks him to knight him, he won't do it because he's not really a knight and that will mean Raymond's not really a knight. And luckily
Yeah.
somebody intercedes and is like, you go ahead and do what you got to do. I'll knight the
The
guy.
laughing
I
storm.
can't wait to see the Laughing Storm. He has the best nickname.
Dude, I'd be so terrified.
He has the
It's like
best
he comes
nickname.
into battle and he's fucking laughing. I cannot wait to kill you. You get a little bit of Lionel Baratheon's character through Dunk's eyes. You see like kind of what's going on, and you hear about his reputation, and you know that this motherfucker is fierce. So that's really exciting. But you know, he joins Dunk's crew because he's like, "Yo, this hasn't happened 100 years. Like, of course I want to be a part
He
of
said,
this. You know,
I
like
want some of this shit.
you know, like why not?" And he, like you said, he's like, you know what, Dunk, whatever. They're calling you over there. Whatever, I got this. I don't knight him. And I was so relieved because there are so many moments of deep tension that come through. And sure, it's maybe dishonorable for Dunk, you know, lying is dishonorable, right? You got to tell the truth. So it's dishonorable of Dunk to pass himself off as a knight, but he recognizes, like you were saying, that if he perpetuates this, then everything else that comes after him is a lie, and he kind of wants to keep it self-contained.
Knowing that Dunk eventually goes on to be Lord Commander of the King's Guard when Aegon becomes king, I wonder at what point he got knighted because it would mean he had to tell someone he wasn't really a knight. So I've always wondered if he like eventually confides in Egg and Egg knights him without telling anyone.
Mm.
That's kind of how I've always thought maybe it happened.
I've always wondered if it ever happens at all.
Yeah, that's true. Maybe it didn't. But I feel like he would. I feel like he wouldn't become King's Guard if he wasn't knighted. I think he's too honest for that.
Yeah. I do hope that before he does become Kingsguard, that he does eventually get buns, because that's the other thing. That's my favorite part of the story. Like count on me for the horny shit. But like, man, he knows how to kiss. Somebody taught him. She was so short that she had to sit on a table. Welcome to my life. And he just like wants to lose his virginity before he dies, and he doesn't get that opportunity. It reminds me of Chainsaw Man, like the anime Chainsaw Man, where it's this teenage boy. He's a demon. He gets to fight other demons and hunt them. But his biggest concern is, oh my God, I've never touched boobs. I want to touch boobs. Like that's his
poor
whole
Dunk.
thing.
Well, Dunk was promised by Sir Arlen that he would be made a man. He was going to take him to a whorehouse, but he got too drunk, and Dunk didn't want to bring it up when Sir Arlen sobered up. He was like, maybe I think I'm gonna just leave it alone. He was too embarrassed, so he missed his opportunity.
I wonder if those ladies would have gotten the Podrick special.
I know, right? I mean, he's closer to 7 feet, so
And the actor who plays Sir Duncan the Tall, Peter Claffey, he's a big dude. We saw him at Comic-Con, and some people sit on those director chairs and they like put their feet on the little cross, and he was just foot on the ground.
yeah.
Foot on the ground, big dude. Like as soon as he walked out, me and Tanya were like, oh shit, this is perfect casting.
Yeah.
Because he seems really humble. And it was really cute because the actor who plays Egg, Dexter Sol Ansel, like he and Peter, may I call you Peter, sir, were so nervous. They'd never done anything like this before. So they're on the stage with this room full of people who are so excited to see and meet them. And they're just kind of fidgety. They don't know what to say. Didn't he say something about Star Wars that he's like, oh shit, I gotta walk that back then?
Yeah.
He's never gonna
I
forget
forgot
me.
what it was he said, and he was like, oh crap, I might have fucked up.
Yeah. But their personalities are going to give a lot to the character. And I'm really excited about that. When you see somebody in real life and you're like, oh, are you really acting? Because I feel like that's just who you are in the best ways, in all the best ways. Because sometimes you see that as not great.
The finale will likely be the trial, right?
I think yes and no, but because the episodes are only 30 minutes and George is famous for the penultimate episode being the thing, I think the trial will happen, maybe split between 4 and 5, and then 6 is where, he meets with Makar. Is like, I'm going to bring your son out and we're going to sleep in ditches and shit. I hope you're cool with that.
I wonder if they'll keep Baylor's death book accurate visually. They take his helmet off and his brain falls out. So
that feels queer.
Yeah. Understatement of the year.
Oh my God.
I was devastated when Baylor died.
Mm-hmm. Me too.
Because everyone liked him. He was honorable. He would have been a good king. And he died.
He was next in line. Next in line. There's King Daron, and then there's Baylor, and then there's Baylor's son, Prince Valor. And Valor reads Dunk for filth. He was like, yo, what the fuck? My dad died because of you. He would have been the best king that they've seen since Aegon the First. And now he's dead, and you're here, and you make me sick. Get out of my face. So maybe the last episode is like the funeral.
Oh, yeah, because they burned him at Ashford.
Mm-hmm.
They just did it right there. I also look forward to seeing him beat Arian's ass.
Oh my God, I can't wait. Both like when he kicks them and all that kind of stuff, like in the marketplace and also in the tourney ring or the field. What do they call it? The field, the tourney ring, whatever.
I don't know. As an aside, I was wondering about Baylor's hair, and it made me wonder, has there ever been a brown-haired Targaryen that actually sat the throne?
Ooh, that's
because it seems like all the brown-haired ones die before they become king.
Yeah. Huh. I don't know. That's a good question. Answer us in the comments if you know that. Maybe it's just bad publicity. Like, no, because now anybody
Yeah,
can
the
be, you know,
universe
it's
won't
like
allow it.
the universe won't allow it. It's just like when they realize that kind of anybody with Targaryen blood might be able to become a dragon rider,
Right.
right? Ooh,
Yeah, I
man.
wonder. Hmm.
I mean, no one's on the Iron Throne who doesn't have silver hair until Robert Baratheon.
That's what I'm wondering. Yeah. Yeah. Because even like
Yeah.
Rhaenyra's kids, all of the brown-haired ones die. And then
Spoiler
her so
alert.
whoops. Wait, oh yeah,
Whoopsie.
are they all still alive? I can't remember
Not
where we
just
left off.
that, all of her strong children have brown hair, and one of them is dead already. And
Whoops.
yeah,
Sorry.
yeah, no one is spared. I'm trying to think of other parts that are my favorite. I think that George does a really good job of making Dunk a sympathetic character
Hmm.
because, yes, he's noble. You know that he's trying his best. But here's somebody who's like, well, I could take all this money, I could sell all this, and I could go live a happy life. But where would I even do that? And how long would this money last? And I want to be a knight. And, I'm saying I am a knight, so I am a knight. And I'm going to Ashford Meadows because I might be able to like find gainful employment there. And that's great. And so he takes the initiative to try and do all these things, but he still has to fight against the fact that nobody knows who the fuck he is. Barely anybody knows who Sir Arlen is. And the people who do, they're like, oh yeah, that guy, he was cool.
Hmm.
So I saw him in the bar, but they don't have anything else to say for him, and he has to find people to vouch for him. And I can't imagine how actually no, that reminds me of my early days when I was freelancing, right? Nobody knew who I was, and I had to go present myself to people and try to gain their trust and be like, yo, vouch for me, come, I will do good work for you, please give me a chance.
Hmm.
And shade to the people that I work with, but like it's not like asking a landed lord to give me a shot.
Yeah.
No reason. He's like, I don't know. You could be one of these dudes from off the street. Are you really a knight? Like, where's your scabbard? Or where's your sword belt?
They said he could have just robbed Sir Arlen and taken his things. Like, who
And it's
knows?
believable. He's a big dude.
But we know Dunk would never.
He would never. Like we touched a little bit on Tansel Too Tall, but Dunk is fascinated by her because he's never seen a girl that tall before. Tansel too tall, but she's not too tall for me.
Yeah.
It's so cute. He's this dude from Flea Bottom, and here we are in the marketplace. It's like going to Comic Con for the first time, where you're just like, oh, all this shit is so cool. Oh my God, look at what's happening here. And he stops and he watches a puppet show because he's not that old either. He's like 16 or 17, right?
Yeah, and he's not sure which.
Yeah, exactly. And he's not sure which because he doesn't know his parents. And so he stops and he watches the puppet show, and it's so sweet. And he's looking at this girl who's like, seems like a master of her art form. And he's just so captivated by it. And I love puppets. So there's
Yeah.
that. He gets to kind of have the joy in addition to the anxiety of being there. He gets to like enjoy the simple things that happen at the tournament. He spends money on food that he wouldn't necessarily treat himself to otherwise. He gets to enjoy all the things that are exciting at being at a tournament, including seeing somebody that you might have a little boo crush on.
And Egg also gets a chance to experience the tourney in a way he wouldn't have if everyone knew who he was.
Oh yeah.
Egg wouldn't have
No.
been able to just walk through the marketplace and watch a puppet show in peace.
And it's wild because he's so worldly.
Yeah, he's
Like
so
he's not
smart.
afraid. He's like, whatever, whatever. I'm going to be out there. I can't imagine the other brothers faring so well in the world.
Hmm.
Like Daron, sure, because he's a drunk and wherever there's alcohol, he will be. Like whores and alcohol, you find him there. But like Prince Arian, like, can you imagine him just like out in the streets as a commoner?
He would never.
Yeah. He'd be like Princess Jasmine, just fucking lost, in need of rescuing. Or like giving away his identity like super fast. He'd make it like 6 steps and be like, I'm a prince, help me.
Exactly. The moment he felt disrespected, everyone would know he was a prince.
Disrespected, inconvenienced, all that
Anything
stuff.
regarding a dragon, he'd be like, oh shit.
Imagine having such a brittle ego.
Right?
The other thing about Egg being brave, but also Dunk's bravery, like we said, he has to kind of go prove himself, is like go to this receptionist, the clerk, and have to prove your background, knowing that it's impossible. So he has to get people to vouch for him. And like we said, nobody is trying to do that for him. And it's really cute because he goes to Lord Dondarrion. He's like, yo, Sir Arlen took a wound in your service. I know the myth and the lore of the lightning. And he is like, bro, everybody knows that story. Like, you're not telling me anything special, you
Anybody my
know?
father met has had to hear this story.
Like, as far as I know, you just overheard it somewhere and now we're trying to be a knight, which, technically is true. It's true. Like, I just feel for him the whole time. I don't think that there's ever a moment where I'm like, oh, fuck, Dunk is an asshole. Like, never. I see him, he's like naive, he's ignorant, but he's also compassionate and willing to give people a chance. And I think more than anything, it really speaks to the type of man that Sir Arlen was.
And I was reading an article where they said that we're going to find out that Sir Arlen wasn't all that he was made out to be. So I kind of wonder what backstory we're going to
Oh,
get about him.
really?
Yeah.
I don't know how I feel about that. Where's the source material?
They better not slander Sir Arlen, is all I have to say.
Yeah. Goodness gracious. No, 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 no. You know what else is exciting for me? Where Dunk is in the stables and he's looking for the stable master because he wants to sell a horse, and the guy's like, "Ugh, please, he's got enough of those." And how exciting is it to be like, oh my God, all the Targaryen princes are here. Like the princelings. I love that they call them princelings, actually.
Yeah.
All the princelings are here, and there's so many of them. Like you might expect one or two of them to show up, but you're not expecting all of them to come and make a name for themselves. How exciting and intimidating is that?
It's probably not wise for all of them to be together anyway, because plot twist, Summer Hall.
Right. This reminds me of when you said that your grandma wouldn't let you guys all fly on the same plane. She made you guys take different flights.
Yeah, she made us stagger our flights.
Yeah. The royals do that, right? They can't all fly together. They have to
I
fly
think so.
separately. Yeah. I love this story so much. Something
Me
that we
too.
said we were going to talk about is the rousing speech that's going to happen in maybe the penultimate episode where Dunk is like, are there no true knights amongst you?
Yes. I think that was in one of the trailers.
If that part is in the trailer, I don't watch trailers. The only one that I've seen is the one they showed at Comic-Con.
I think I saw that. I feel like I remember seeing that. I don't think my brain made that up.
It's going to be muddy. They talked about the training of horses. Like all of the scenes are wild because it's horse stunts. It's really exciting for me because you have Battle of the Bastards where you see the horses that are racing, and you after the episode, if you watch that, you get to learn a little bit about what it's like to train horses to charge at people and how terrifying it is to stand right in front of them. And for this, there's going to be more horses because it's going to be jousting, and oh man, I can't wait. Because I think about the scene where Daenerys flies in with the Dothraki and Jaime Lannister is like looking at them and like, oh shit, these were all real horses, no CGI, bitch.
Yeah, we didn't get a lot of tourneys in Game of Thrones.
I was watching an interview with Nikolai Coster-Waldau, and he was saying that you didn't see much of them in the beginning because the show had no money.
Yeah, that's true.
It opens with a tourney, and you only see like 5 seconds of it.
I mean, I guess this entire season is going to be about one single tourney anyway.
Yeah. And then I think the next one that we saw was House of the Dragon, like that first episode.
Yeah.
And that was really cool. But this is supposed to blow all of them out of the water.
I'm looking forward to it. I'm excited. One time I was listening to the audiobook and I was walking around Midtown.
Mm-hmm.
And when the small folks started showing their support for Dunk, I just cried on the sidewalk. And I was like, oh my God, I look so crazy. Was I pregnant? I might have been pregnant. I was very weepy during that time. But like I literally was walking through Midtown. I remember where I was too. I was near the UN, just walking down the street with tears streaming down my face, listening to an audiobook.
It happens. It does. It does. There's a quiet book club that happens. And they're like, what are you reading? Are you excited about stuff? And somehow we got onto Game of Thrones. And I told them, like, Game of Thrones, anything Brandon Sanderson and N.K. Jemisin, and there are a few other books out of a billion books that I read that I get so focused and zoned into that the rest of the world literally disappears. Like I've talked about it on the podcast before. Like I've been standing on a full platform. There are people to the left and right of me. And then I look up and everybody's gone because the train came and went. And I didn't even hear it. Like,
Yeah.
and nobody taps you.
Yeah, nobody taps you. There was one time, I can't remember which book it was, but I was riding the subway and I'm starting from Harlem, 125th Street, and I looked up and I was in Queens. And I was just like, what the fuck? Where am I? I
Oh
was
my
like, what am I
God.
doing in Queens? Because I just got
Yeah,
so locked in. They do that to you, don't they?
they really do. George.
Give us what we need.
I am happy about this. When they said they were going to do this, I was like, this is manageable. This is
Mhm.
manageable source material. It's three novellas. They don't have to go in all crazy. They don't have, I think, with the exception of this book, you're not going to get a bunch of like names, that do I need to remember this person and this person and this house? And, this house has beef with that house. It's like every other one that comes after. It's like really simple. Like,
Mhm.
okay, I just focus on these people. So, if you're intimidated by thinking you need to memorize every single character, you won't have to do that here,
Nope.
except for maybe the princelings.
Where this really differs from the other two series, though, is the stakes are so much smaller.
Mm, mm-hmm.
In Game of Thrones, it's literally the fate of the entire world.
Right,
In the House of
right.
the Dragon, it's a civil war with
Mm-hmm.
dragons. It's the fate of the entire nation. Who's going to take the Iron Throne? And then this, it's just the life of one single knight. Not even his life. They were just going to knock out his teeth and cut off a hand and a foot.
Yeah.
Very, like, high
Everything that
stakes.
he touched the prince with.
Yeah, high stakes for Dunk, but very low stakes as far as it goes for everybody else.
Dunk could have been killed and thrown in jail, and the rest of the world would have moved on without him. Like people who live in Ashford Meadows would have been like, man, that's too bad that happened to that knight because he really was like trying to stand up for us. And that was really cool. And then, 6 months later, nobody gives a fuck. Nobody
And
remembers.
and then a generation later, remember that time they brought back a trial of the seven?
Mm-hmm.
They wouldn't remember Dunk. They'd remember that a trial that hadn't happened in 100 years happened that
Yeah.
day. And there was
Yeah.
some guy, I think he was a tall guy, I don't know.
Yeah.
I think because he wins, they'll remember him. But if he had lost,
Oh, yeah. And he gets so close to losing.
so close. Until he remembers that he's a motherfucking brawler from the streets of Flea Bottom.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Oh,
It's
I
and
love it.
I love that at first there's no plan. And then Prince Baylor comes in. He's like, hey, okay, this is what we're gonna do. We're gonna use tourney lances. And they're like, what the fuck? Are you trying to kill us? He's
Right.
like, no, it'll give us the reach. It'll give us the reach. You'll be able, to hold them off, blah, 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 blah. And Dunk, he side eyes it a bit, but he's like, you know what? Cool. He's like, all I gotta do is knock Prince Arian off of his horse and then I'll fuck him up, except his body goes into autopilot when his horse starts. It even says that Thunder gets in gear before he does. And so he's
Mhm.
like, I got to aim for the shield. But when you're moving so fast, it's hard to make that adjustment.
Yeah.
Oh my God.
And has he ever even jousted before?
Not that I
I
know
can't
of.
imagine holding a 12-foot lance while riding a horse and trying to aim it. I imagine it takes a lot of practice. And has he had that practice? I doubt it.
No.
I also love Baylor's other plan because there were three Kingsguard that were going to be fighting on Arian's
Yeah.
side.
Yeah.
And he's
Yeah.
like, "Don't leave them to me." And I just like picture him chasing them around and them just like running away from him with like
Because they
with the
know what's
Benny
up.
Hill music. Yeah. It's just this Targaryen just galloping after these three white cloaks and they're just running in circles.
And the reason that they're even there is because Prince Makar is like, oh no, you guys are sworn to protect us. You're
Mhm.
going to be out there. And I don't know if in his mind also he was like, well, if they're there, then at least like my kids will be safe, my brother will be safe, and we'll be protected. If we want to fight, we can fight. I don't know if that was in his mind too, because it seems to me that the only reason that he's jumping in this fight is because his kid was disrespected, and you can't have that.
Yeah.
What does that look like? You can't have that. You can't have the crown disrespected in this way.
Baylor showed up wearing his son's armor when he decided to
Mm-hmm.
stand in for Dunk, which was another moment that had me
Yeah.
brimming with emotion.
That's why I always think this is the mystery night.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I could see that why that would make you think that. Yeah, Baylor shows up in his son's armor. Everybody thinks it's his son, and he's like, "Ah, shit, nah, guys, it's me." And it's just like,
Mm-hmm.
wow, you believe in this cause. You, the heir to the throne, believe in this maybe knight, this orphan from Flea Bottom who nobody knows, but you believe in his cause so much that you're willing to come and fight for him. His nephews must be so ain't shit for him to do that. You know what
Oh
I
my
mean?
God, yeah, yeah. He's like, I don't like I know what type of person he is.
He's like, fuck them kids. Let's
Yeah.
beat their asses. And it's not like he wants Arian to die, but he
No,
definitely wants Dunk to live.
he needs to be taught a lesson.
Exactly. Baylor knowing that his nephews ain't shit made me realize that Makar also knows his kids ain't shit
Yeah. Yeah.
because at the very end, when he wants Dunk to pick up some training and
Hmm.
take Egg as his squire, he's like, nah, let me take him on the road as a little
Yeah.
Hedge Knight squire. And
Hmm.
Makar's like, bitch, what the fuck? Absolutely not. And he's like, has Daron ever slept in a ditch? And he's like,
Yeah.
yeah, you're right. My kids are really spoiled, rotten, and bad people. Okay,
Hmm.
okay. And he just walks away
Yeah.
without saying a word. And then Egg shows up the next morning.
Yeah. I think that Maker, I don't want to say that I was primed to dislike him, but he was very much like giving stuck up noble. I am of royal blood, right? But
Hmm.
then you see that he's actually a reasonable person. He's like, you know what? I won't admit this to you because who the fuck are you? But I know that this makes sense. And, you know, here, like, he's not going to be king. He's not going to be king. Take him on the road. Like, he survived on his own this far. And so as a father, I'd be like, you know what? We thought that he was kidnapped and in trouble, but clearly he's a good judge of character for somebody so young. He stuck with the right people. He got the right people to help when it was necessary. He knows when to present himself. He knows when to fall back. And even though that he's a little one, I see that this guy is a true knight. Like I
Hmm.
don't appreciate that he beat the shit out of my son twice, but I do appreciate that if my son is going to be a knight, who better for him to learn from than somebody who's actually upholding the vows.
What stood out to me with that too is Makar's offer is for Dunk to come to, what is it, Summer Hall where Makar lives, for him to
Mm-hmm.
come there and to complete his training as a knight because he sees that he's not fully trained. But he lets them go on the road the next day. I would have thought
Mm-hmm.
that he'd make Dunk come and train for a while first before going out on
Right.
the road with Egg. I would have.
I'm
I
glad
would
he
have.
agreed. And Dunk says, like, let me just go out on the road with the kid. Let me try to make a name for myself. I've done this here. I was a squire and now I'm a knight. Let me get the experience and then I'll come back. I'll come back and your master of arms can train me because he's not a fool. Dunk's not a fool.
No. He should have stayed and got the training though before he went on the road. That's the only
Fattened up.
decision of his I didn't agree with. I'm like, no,
Mm-hmm.
I think you should train a little more. You
Go
can't
get
always
fed.
brawl. I mean,
Put some meat on your bones.
yeah, I won't spoil the next two, but he's a brawler. And you know what? It serves him. All of that to say, I'm excited for Sunday. I cannot wait to talk about it with you.
Anything that I want to say, you're going to cut out. So I'll just keep it clean and say that I am overjoyed. I'm quivering with anticipation. And I know that I'm going to be screaming the whole time that I'm watching it. And I look forward to that. So I guess I'll keep cough drops on deck or like honey. Honestly, aside from the things that we don't talk about, and y'all know what we mean, I'm never disappointed to see something in this world because it lives in your head for so long. Like you were saying, like, oh, did I see this or was this a fever dream? Like
Right.
it's like when I'm going on streaming services to watch The Way of Kings, and I'm like, oh wait, no, that doesn't exist in my head. I'd have dreams about like the final battle and think that, oh wait, where's Arya? And like they're in the mountains with the wildlings and I'm like, wait, no, it's my fanfic dreams. Like that
Right.
never happened. So because of that, I'm so excited to be able to see this on the screen in all the glory with all the attention to detail paid. I can't wait to see everybody's banners going up. Like those shots are going to be fantastic.
And
Yeah.
it has a budget.
And it's got a
So
budget.
we get to come out the gate with a budget.
Good
So
wigs,
everything should be
everyone.
beautiful.
Good wigs.
So January 18th, this coming Sunday, A Night of the Seven Kingdoms, 10 p.m. on HBO. I will have already been in my pajamas and ready for bed.
Watching it from bed.
Yeah, right? Oh, yeah, I guess I
Turning it
could
off
watch
as
it
soon-
on the projector.
Yeah, watch it from bed, turn it off, and go to sleep, and then wake up Monday. I was like,
Exactly.
did I really see that?
So, cheers to something new to talk about. While
Something new
we
to talk
pray and
about.
hope for Wheel of Time to come back, that somebody will pick it up, because I haven't accepted that's canceled. But that's a conversation for another day.
HBO, get Wheel of Time.
I've been Tanya,
And I'm always Nikki.
and we'll see you next week.
Oh gosh.
For previous episodes, find us at thousandeyespodcast.com. On YouTube, you can find us at 1,000 Eyes in One Podcast. If you'd like to follow us on social media, we are 1,000 Eyes in One on Instagram and Facebook, 1,000 Eyes Pod on Blue Sky, and if you're interested in our speculative fiction book club, follow Wine on an Empty Stomach on Instagram.